Hey guys, we're working with a Tahoe here. I'm going to show you how I added the switchbacks and to see what issues you may have and maybe some solutions I might be able to give you. First off, I'm going to show you the way I'm going to set it up, and I'll show you afterwards how maybe others will set it up. The main difference between the two is the bulbs here. These are switchbacks, but they're canvas, which have a built-in resistor. These were like about 30 bucks on Amazon. So I would recommend these just since they're a higher grade and have the built-in resistor. And the other way I'll show you is by adding these resistors in case you already have the bulbs already in your vehicle. And the other bulbs typically are cheaper. They could be about 10-15 bucks a pair. So the first off is we're gonna work with these two. Let me take this one out. So in this one right here, you can see there's two black cables and a blue cable. We need to switch this out for one that has 3 wires coming out. So what I did here is I bought the same harness at a junkyard for about 25 bucks. So what I'm gonna do is use this one, which is the same one as this one, and make it fit here. And then this one does have 3 connections here. This one right here, I'm just gonna cut and just tap it, not use it. So we could just use these 3 wires only. So typically it's gonna be black for ground. This one will be for power. This blue cable, and this brown cable will be for the signal when you're using the turn signal indicator. So right now I'm just gonna cut these and then show you how I tie it into this whole system here. Okay, so I went ahead and cut this harness, and so now I don't need this anymore. I have this one already stripped. I just put a cap on the extra wires I'm not gonna use. So right here, we're basically kind of going to match. So these blacks are going to go together. This blue cable will connect with this blue cable. And this brown cable will connect with the brown cable here in the middle one. Once we have that connected, the next thing we've got to do is add one of these. I believe they're called diodes. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This one is a 5404, which is a 3 amp 400 volt. The way this works is you're gonna tie this into the power cable from the original harness here, and then the other end you're gonna connect it to the brown cable that you just tied in. And there is a gray line at the top. So this gray line needs to be going towards the bulbs. So it will go here on this brown cable, and the other end will go on the blue cable. Once you have that, you're good to go with the built-in resistors. So let me do this real quick, and then I'll show you once it's working. So I tied in the blue one here, as you can see. What I did was I stripped it, and then I stripped this one, and I kind of like looped it around and put electrical tape for now. The black one, since there's 3 cables, 2 black and 1 red, I went ahead and just crimped it all together for ground. This one, you could do the same thing, but as you see here, you won't reach. So for this video, I'm just gonna use these alligator clips and connected here just so I could show you on the video. And now this blue cable will need to tie into this brown series with one of these. So I'll go ahead and just clip that as well. So remember, the gray part will need to tie into the bulbs, and the other part will just tie into the power right here. And the red part will need to tie into the brown. So I'm just gonna clip it onto this other clip. And when connecting these, a lot of times they won't fit for the original. So what you could do is you could trim these little not sure what you call these, but you could trim these, maybe take out 1 or 2 of them for they could fit, or you could just cut around here like I did with some dikes here and just force it in there. So for now, I did that, and I'm just gonna put it in real quick just for the video. So I'll just leave it like that, and I need to keep note of this. So as you can see, get a 3 cable socket. The power, or the ground will go to the ground. The middle cable, which is like the switch, will tie into the other one, the other brown cable, which is a switch as well. And then the power cable, or the power cable, you could tie it into the other one as well. So like I did here, I just put electrical tape. And so now when you get power from this cable here, in between you need one of these, the diode or whatever. So remember, the gray line, that's going to tie into the switch for the both sockets, and the other end will tie into the blue power cable that was originally here. So now let me go ahead and move all this and then show you guys these switchbacks. Okay, that's the turn signal here. Now let me turn it off so you can see how it looks like for the daytime. And that's all there is to it. So built-in resistors for the bulbs and the diode, and then you'll have it working. So I went ahead and just tightened everything up and added jumper cables where needed. So just to recap, here on the harness I got from the junkyard, it has 3 cables, a black, a brown, and a blue. So typically on these harnesses or these sockets, the black is the ground. On the opposite end, it's going to be for power, and the middle one's going to be the switch. So you will connect the black to the 2 black cables from the original harness, and then the middle one, the turn signal one, since they're now working together, I added a jumper, I crimped it, and then I added it to the other end of their brown cable, which is also going to turn on the turn signal. And then I basically crimped it all together, and I added an extra jumper cable as well. So you see this cable here, this is the diode, and then remember the gray end will need to be crimped on that direction, and then the opposite end will connect to the harness for the power. And now finally, this light blue here will be the power for the bulbs. So as also, I just added a jumper cable, tied it to the other socket here, from right here, and then now that's all in series. So this is basically the method of doing it with built-in resistors in your bulbs. Again, they're like about 30 bucks from Amazon for a pair. And with a diode, I bought a pack of these. So the one I used is a 3 amp 400 volt. And now the other way of doing this is if you have regular LED bulbs and you require a resistor, you'll need one of these. This one here is a 50 watt 6 ohms resistor. It doesn't matter which end you connect to what. There's no negative and positive in these. So you might need 1 or 2 of these per headlight. So if you only need 1, then all you'll do is connect the black on one end, the black grounds from the harness that had 2 of them coming out, 2 cables coming out. You'll tie this into one, and then on the other end you'll tie it into where the blue cables meet. Since they're all together, you just tie it in from the light blue cable to the ground, and this will be a 1 resistor setup. But if you're still getting the hyper flash, then you're gonna need 2. So what you'll do is the same thing, basically black on ground and the other one on the blue cable, on the light blue cable per socket. So you'll have pretty much this setup here and another setup basically like this, similar, and that will require 1 per bulb. These things do get hot by manufacturer. They do say they get hot, so don't add it to plastic. Maybe zip tie it, have it hanging or such, or maybe mount it on the actual mounted on the Tahoe itself. Now also I wanted to add is, if you have built-in resistors on your bulbs and you want to add one of these, you will hyper flash. That was the issue I was going through, because I was trying to add these with the built-in resistors, and then it would just hyper flash no matter what I'll do. So if you have built-in resistors, all you need is a diode. If you have regular bulbs, you'll need this and the diode setup. And then mine works, and I also have LED tail lights for the rear as well. So if this is how it's set up, like how mine is, and you're getting the hyper flash, chances are you might need to add one of these to your tail lights to avoid that. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out. If not, maybe drop a comment here in the video. I may be able to help out. If not, I'm sorry.